Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. It's been a while. It's been like 3 weeks, but I figured I don't want to do like filler content when nothing's going on. But Gugabe, it's good to hear from you. We were just talking about off the air about how you literally, when you visited America, visited like all the hot spots of where the coronavirus is widespread. So we were thinking, like, statistically, there's like a 70% chance you had it at some point.
Yeah, like I went from Mardi Gras to a convention in Boston to New York to Chicago to Vegas.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, logically. But yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think, like, we won't make this a coronavirus podcast. We'll just mention it for a minute or two. But there's like antibody tests coming out that in Santa Clara County, which is, popular county, obviously it's more dense than other areas in the country, but I think like 10% of people had it in the population. So, like, there's obviously like millions of people who have it. So there's a good chance you and I just even had it traveling America around and going to Vegas around that time. But it is what it is. Whatever.
Pretty much. Anyway, yeah, we're not qualified for this discussion, but
Yeah, we're not. If only we had the MMA media, epidemiology and PhD in this subject, we could talk about it. But do you?
Luke Thomas has many PhDs.
Yeah, I don't like hate all those guys at all. It's just sometimes it's like it's kind of a beating a dead drum. It's and I don't know, just like talking down on people is just kind of annoying. Like, we get your opinion.
So like it's like the Dana White thing. Like usually I'm kind of anti Dana White because I feel like he's kind of like I respect what he's done for the sport, but I feel like the sport's ready to transition away from him, kind of. But in this situation, it's just like it's wartime. You need a Winston Churchill, and Dana White is Winston Churchill. He's a wartime president, I guess.
Yeah, it's not even that I like necessarily disagree with some of the MMA media's takes on things. It's just like the beating of the dead drum aspect of it, and it's just like whatever. And it looks like UFC 249 is going on, and I think this time they're not like trying to bypass the commission. It's not like the governor of California was like, do not hold this event like on April 18th, where it looks like the governor of Florida okayed it. So it's not like it kind of seems like they at least are with the government on putting it on. So let's stop talking about this and actually talk about the event, though. 11 fight card we got going.
11 fights? Oh yeah. In some ways I thought it was more than that, but again, it's lost and gained so many fights at this point. It's just like,
yeah, I think Nunez and
yeah,
I think Nunez and Spencer got canceled, so it got replaced with Alvey Spann. Thank God. And yeah, so I mean, we could just start from the bottom and just kind of go how we always do. And also, I think there's going to be like 3 events in a week, so we'll just kind of pop out the podcast for the Wednesday event after this one, maybe sometime next week. So just keep an eye out on that. But Rosa and Mitchell is the first fight, I think. I'll just go best fight odds order. I don't know how they're going to be on the event, but any opinions here?
I actually don't mind the GTD at minus 145-ish. Like, I'm pretty sure they'll attempt submissions, but like, I think Mitchell's grappling is going to be a bit overrated after that Sales fight, where Sales made him look like Demian Maia. Like, Mitchell's a functional fighter. I don't mind Mitchell being a favourite, but like, I just think this is going to be wishy-washy. It could come down to like 2 or 3 scrambles, and I think Rosa's the best striker. So it's just kind of like, I think this is going to be a bit of just a mess. I could see this easily be a split decision, I guess.
Yeah, out of every fight on the card, this is kind of like not a coronavirus cough. I just like choked on my coffee. Sorry. Out of every fight on the card, I just kind of I need to look at this a little more. Every other one, I'm like done. But when I was taping it, I feel like Rosa has shown in some fights that he has like decent sweeps off his back and kind of just like decent grappling. And then others where he just really gets stuck on his back. Like I was just seeing like inconsistency, but I need to go rewatch, you know? But that's kind of like my issue with him is that he ends up on his back for long periods, and Mitchell will definitely ride out top position. That's kind of like what he tries to do, you know? Um, but I agree with the goes the distance. I didn't even look at that price because I mean, Rosa, I don't think will be that easy to sub, and same the other way, you know?
Yeah, they're both pretty like non-powerful on the feet. Like, I mean, Mitchell can swing, but like I don't think anybody's knocking anybody out. So it's
Yeah,
like it's probably most likely this finish is going to be a sub. And I just don't think Ivor's that reliable as a sub guy. Like they'll go for them, but there's no golf and grappling class here, and I think they're both pretty durable and they're both pretty cardio. So it's enough for 2-1s. Again,
yeah. I also have issues with like Mitchell's kind of volume in general, but he also doesn't get hit that much. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It just kind of usually comes down who outgrapples who in his fights usually. And then Rosa had like a good performance against Burgos until he got KO'd. But yeah, who knows? This is kind of one fight I need to look into. I don't think I'm going to have a play. So we can.
honest,
What's up?
I could easily see if it's just being rerun them off at fight. Like,
Yeah, kind of like a scrappy, close. Yeah, like comes down to like, does someone do something stupid? Like Moffitt gave away that fight in round 3.
yeah,
That,
or there'll be like a sweep there'll be a sweep with a minute left in the round. That'll be the decision. That kind of shit.
yeah. But I need to look a little more into it. I was just kind of like not formulating an opinion really whenever I was kind of taping. Luque and Price. I mean, yeah, we know what this is. It's like Price needs to knock him out or he's gonna lose.
Yeah,
And Luque's never been KO'd, so I think that's kind of like important to point out. And just like the first fight, when Luque walks you down. I mean, he's a pressure fighter. We know that. And I do think like Nico's a little less lethal when going backwards, you know? But yeah, like Luque should tear him up, in my opinion, unless if he gets KO'd. That's pretty much what it is.
yeah, pretty much. Like the way Price could pull out another meme sort of win like he did against what's his name, memes. But like, yeah, Luque has a bit more cohesion to his game. Price isn't. Price is pretty fragile despite his same power. Price could meme this, but yeah, Luque should beat him. And like
Yeah.
Luque is like his chin's good, but we do know too much about Luque's chin because like I mean Bob Arona heard him birds. I remember I had Wonderboy KO and I felt like I got pretty gypped on that. So there was like Wonderboy almost got him out like twice in the third round. I remember Wonderboy in the third round just dominated them. But
Yeah, but
Luque's toughness.
that was more so because Wonder Boy was like landing at will, where it's like I don't think Nico will land at will. It's going to be like a one shot thing.
True, but like
Yeah.
that one shot will be insane.
True. Yeah, but like it's weird whenever there's like rematches like this because they fought before and like Luque just beat the shit out of him. And it's like it's always hard because whenever you see that, you don't want to just be like it's going to be like that fight. But I don't see what has really changed. Like Luque fights the same, and Price was. I could see Price coming out a little more come forward because in that fight he just went backwards the whole time and got walked down and got destroyed. You know, so who knows? Like striking's high variance anyway, so we could get a different outcome. But I tend to think Luque. Like I'm fine with the line.
Yeah, like Price could try to maximize volatilities by just going nuts, but like
That's what he
isn't
should
gonna.
do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, mess.
Yeah.
What's next?
Next fight we got Uriah Hall Souza. I I mean, this is a pass in my opinion. I think I could see either guy winning. Like they're both pretty low volume on the feet, and I think Hall has the more like athletic striking ceiling type of thing, but he still just doesn't outland people often. You know, like he got outlanded by Bevan Lewis by a ton until he landed the KO. And Christoph Jalko the same way. And just in general, like when he wins, it's usually just by KO. And so really want, or like a knockdown throughout rounds. He did that against who was it? ACJ.
Yep.
So it just kind of, I like, I could see Hall winning for sure, but I don't like the fact that like everything's kind of reliant on him landing a big shot for the most part. Like I could see him outpointing Jacare, but he still doesn't like. He's never outlanded someone by a lot, you know. And
Yeah.
Souza will at least try to like cage push and shit, you know. And I feel like either guy could win if like a distance striking fight just because of the low volume nature of both dudes. And I could see maybe Souza getting like, I mean, Souza has only landed one takedown in his last 5 fights, so it's also hard to trust him there. But I could see him landing one, you know. So I don't know. Like I just see it as kind of like,
Yeah, I played Hall the last time this was booked, but like honestly, I've kind of moved away from it. Yeah, just like Hall, like my original thought was that Hall needed less to go right, but honestly, after the kind of rewatching Hall versus ACJ and all that, I was kind of like, it's just a mess. Like Hall could just hit the miracle massive shot, or like Jacare looked dire against Jan. But it's hard to be confident in either side, I guess. That's just my
it's
kind of gut feel at this point.
that's exactly how I feel. Because even when you watch Jacare versus Jan, it's like he could have still got that decision, especially if it was like 3 rounds, you know. And like it was just like a close fight, you know. Even though Jan outlanded him, Jacare still like optically was like pushing him up against the cage and making it close. So I just kind of feel like if they fought like 100 times, I see either guy winning. You know, like I don't see how you can be too confident here.
How much? I mean, over this, but like, how much of that was Jan? Just like I felt Jan could have done a lot to assert himself in that fight, and he just kind of didn't. But yeah, that was a weird
I mean,
fight.
but that's kind of what Hall does that too sometimes.
True. Yeah.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it's just hard to know. Like, it's just a really hard fight to cap, in my opinion. Like, or not even hard to cap. I think it just should be a close line. I think it's just a hard fight to pick a winner clearly. You know.
This is going to be the fight where Uriah Hall finally starts actually listening to the people at Tiger Schulman. He comes out, he's like turned to Jimmy Rivera, or like he's just suddenly Shane Burgos.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. He's based out of that camp, and he's just like, yeah, that's a good camp. I mean, there's just Uriah Hall.
Yeah, I like that camp. They generally have like good fighters who are like well schooled, you know.
That's what makes it so hilarious that Uriah Hall was just there, because it's like, yeah, everybody else is kind of doing like, everybody has identical beards, drilling the same functional shit, and there's Uriah Hall just being crazy in the corner.
Yeah.
Spin kicking a Wing Chun dummy.
Yeah.
But that's
yeah, it's just it's kind of just like a split decision shit show mess in my opinion. Let's move on to the next fight, which I have a strong opinion on. I think you do too. I don't think I've like talked to you directly too much about this fight though. But Esparza Waterson, your opinions?
Esparza is a lot more functional, a lot more minute winny. Waterson's kind of shit off her back. Torres dominated Waterson. They got to takedowns. Waterson to win this fight either needs a massive moment, or Esparza to kind of just walk around getting kicked in the face. I can't see many other paths to victory. Esparza should be like minus 250, minus 300-ish. It's kind of my broad feeling.
Yeah, I did like a huge write up on this fight. Like found some like stats that I think support Esparza as well. But yeah, I think she should win. Like I kind of forgot how good of a wrestler Esparza was, you know, because until I went back and taped, because if you look at her past 5 fights, she who was it? So
yeah, it's Gadelha,
it was
Suarez.
Gadelha, Suarez, Calvillo,
and John DeRoba, who are all like
top. Yeah, they're all like top grapplers, right? And so I was kind of like, and then all of a sudden when you go watch your fights like just on Tough against like Tisha Torres, even though that was a long time ago, but I don't think your game has changed at all, or just like I don't know, like Marina Moroz or whatever. she's just always landing takedowns, and she's just kind of like always dominating rounds. And I feel like, or like Jessica Penne, I just feel like all of those girls are kind of a little more comparable to Waterson in a way. But I like if you look if you're not Suarez or Joanna, she's landed takedowns against everyone. She landed 5 against Rose, 5 against Lima, 4 against Marcos, even though she lost that fight, but probably shouldn't have. 6 versus Moroz, 2 versus Calvillo, 2 versus Gaudelia, 4 versus Jandaroba, and 4 versus Grasso. And she averages almost 4 takedowns per 15 minutes, where Waterson's 1.88. So you have an advantage there. And also, she also attempts 10 takedowns per 15 minutes, where Waterson attempts 3. So I think just by the fact that she's going to be attempting more is really important. And that dynamic played out against Jandaroba, and Jandaroba is a better grappler than Waterson. But if you notice, like, I don't think Esparza was much better than Jandaroba, but because she was attempting more and attempting first, she was getting the takedowns, you know? So yeah, that's kind of like some of the stuff that I was finding. But yeah, sorry about that like little rant. But you got
good. Like,
anything else to add?
yeah, it's like, how does Waterson really win this coherently? It's just like she needs to kind of outstrike, and like she's never really been that evasive. And like even like tired Herrick still managed to get Waterson down. I honestly expect Grasso to be a more challenging fight than Waterson. Just like Grasso is more offensively potent and just like a bit more able to compete in the feet at least.
Yeah, when I started focusing on Waterson's game, I realized one, she hasn't really fought many wrestlers. Like she's fought. I mean, I guess there's not a ton of great grapplers, but like it's not like she's fought Gaudelia or the people Esparza's fought. And her takedown defense is 57%, and she surrenders takedowns all the time. And against non-wrestlers, like, you know, like Felice, even Joanna took her down 3 times, even though like Joanna's a good grappler, but kind of doesn't do it. But she's not like really a wrestler. She's more known for her defense. But also like the last time she fought someone, Waterson, who consistently went for like a high volume of takedowns, because no one has attempted 10 takedowns on her, like Esparza probably will. But it was Penne and Invicta, and if she, of course, Waterson memed out a win in round 4 by an armbar, but she was getting beat up in those first 3 rounds, and she would have lost a decision had it gone to the cards. Like, she was down on the scorecards. I went and researched it, so I just feel like she's going to get taken down and taken down throughout the fight. And I feel like both girls are low volume enough on the feet where I think whoever's winning the grappling is going to swing things, because I don't think they can differentiate themselves on the feet that much, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Waterson does seem to appeal to the judges for some reason. She's like picked up a bunch of weird cards, but still, I just feel like if Esparza was getting on top of her for minutes around, it's like they can't fuck that up.
Yeah, fuck that up. That's the thing about this fight. It's like she hasn't been fighting wrestlers where usually if you're on top, you get the round. Where like I think that will be a little bit of a difference here. It's not like it's going to be a striking fight for 15 minutes. Like Esparza attempts 10 takedowns, like on average. So you have to assume there's going to be grappling here, and usually the top position person wins. And I also like Esparza's get-ups more than Waterson. Waterson plays guard.
Yeah, 100%. Onto Oleinik versus Werdum.
Yeah, you can lead on this one.
This is Werdum should kind of be better everywhere, but we haven't seen a fight in a bit. But like, yeah, this is like that one dude in your jiu-jitsu class who has like 3 meme subs and catches everybody who comes in the door twice. Against like a legit world-class grappler. And like, yeah, I hope Oleinik somehow club subs him. It'd be fucking hilarious. But yeah, like Werdum should tool him everywhere. That's usually the case in Oleinik fights. He's gone pretty well so far, so who knows?
Yeah, for sure. Like I see. Thing is, I don't like. He can't. I'm confident enough that he won't subvert Doom, where I literally put not Oleinik by submission in parlays at -900, because I don't think I think it's pretty much non-existent that he subs Werdum. Because Werdum Like Werdum's a 2-time ADCC world champion in jiu-jitsu. Like I don't think Oleinik can sub him, you know. But you really think so? I don't. I don't even think it's close.
It's just how Oleinik grapples and how stupid this shit is. I think we've all had those one guy like be better than them, but they just have one or two meme things and they catch you once or twice. And also club sub's an option because you know that would be a thing.
Yeah, but doing it to a 2-time ADCC world champion is so much different. Like, it's just
Oleinik is gonna jump. Oleinik is gonna jump, pull mount, and someone's gonna kill. And Werdum's gonna do that weird face he does and then die. I'm sorry, it is written.
If Oleinik subs him, I'll I don't know, like whatever you want me to do for a month, I'll do or not do. I'm, and you don't even have to risk anything back. I'm that confident he will not sub Werdum. Like I'm not even like I'm not a hot take type of person, but the only way it happens is if it's like Werdum's borderline unconscious. You know,
I just think that's possible. My Atlantic fight sense is just tingling that he'll somehow get down, and he'll just hit something stupid on Werdum. Like Werdum should win this easily. Like, it'll be like a scarf hold or
dude, like all you have
Bulgarian
to do.
nipple cramp.
Those Ezekiels, you just need to fucking post on the head to like create space, and that's exactly what Overeem did, and he avoided it with ease. And like Verdum's going to know to do that. Yeah, like he just understands the concepts of being choked.
His arms are very, very long.
Like if Werdum gets hit extremely hard and is just like very, very hurt, I still don't think Oleinik could sub him, but I could foresee it. But I just do not see a straight submission happening here. But if it did happen, it would be hilarious, and we can laugh about it extremely hard here.
Like that's pretty much. I just want to see. Like I have Werdum. I took minus 200. I just kept parlaying and adding stuff. He's like the only pre-collapse line I've still got, and like I think he should cover. Yeah, minus 200 in my opinion was a ridiculous line. He should be close to minus 500. But like if he wins, I will enjoy it. Because
I think if someone gets subbed here, it's going to be Oleinik getting subbed here.
Yeah, 100%.
Has
Oleinik been subbed? I feel like he has been at some point.
He has an MMA.
Huh. He got subbed by what's his name in jiu-jitsu. They had a very random matchup between him and like Gary Tonin. No, who was the other one?
He got subbed like he got subbed in the event the UFC just held by Gordon Ryan. I mean that's Gordon Ryan. So yeah. He got subbed in like 9 seconds by Gordon Ryan. Like
that's a weird matchup.
Like, dude, just looking at Werdum on BJJ Heroes, he's been subbed like 2 times, and he's fought the best of his generation. You know, like it's going to be very, very hard to sub him, especially when you're allowed to like punch. You know, but. I don't know. It would be absolutely hilarious. But like, I don't know. Back to the fight. I think Werdum should take this. I think the only thing I do worry about Werdum is if like Oleinik gets top time, you know, occasionally, because he will like Oleinik does land takedowns and will kind of stay on top. But I do think Werdum's just like sweeps will probably work. You know, it might be hard for Oleinik to do that strategy for 3 rounds without gassing.
Yeah, Oleinik has like 3 minutes of gas, so yeah, Werdum should destroy him pretty easily. Like, Oleinik really doesn't really have any areas he's better than him. Maybe power, but apart from that, like, wouldn't be a very meme knockout. Or clubs up.
Werdum's like, I kind of forgot how good it was. Like the more I watched it, but he also would have beaten Volkov after 3 rounds had that gone to the card. Had that right?
Yeah, like cardio deft, he was winning that fight pretty easily.
Yeah, and like
even off cliff there.
Pace for a heavyweight.
Yeah, Volkov's decent. Like, yeah, Volkov actually had to show a bunch of shit there, and like even Volkov, he still had like didn't Werdum have his back like twice.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool half guard like mount pull he had. Yeah, one where he just kind of like half guard into mount from memory.
Yeah, Werdum also just has a very underrated. He does that snatch single leg, like where it's like the only shot he does. Because I saw it. I remember watching Volkov fight and seeing that happen, and then I rewatched that fight, and he kept doing it, and then I realized he's done it back since 2008. Because I went back and watched his Gonzaga fight because I wanted to see what Werdum looks like on his back, because that's really the only fight he's kind of been on his back consistently in, and yeah, he's done it like for like 12 years, kind of like it's like a Weidman-esque, that like snatch single type of thing. But
Even him
yeah,
against
and,
Walt
like
Harris is better in hindsight.
yeah, and
Like he just wrecks Walt Harris.
both of these guys have shitty takedown defense, but like Werdum, I think like if he's on bottom, I trust his sweeps like way more than Oleinik, and I think Werdum's like much more dangerous on top than Oleinik too. Um,
Yeah,
that Oleinik
like
fight versus Murray Screen was also kind of a mess.
yeah, Oleinik is pretty much just like meme knockout or bust. Like I just can't really see how he wins this, but like I do hope he does because it'd be fucking funny.
It would be pretty funny. Greg Hardy and Castro. Thoughts here?
I originally had Hardy at like minus 140, which I liked. I think Castro is very, very small for heavyweight. He's knocked out kind of bad competition twice in a row, and people getting hyped. Hardy's a better athlete. Hardy actually has a decent defense and like range striking game. I feel like Hardy probably wins this by decision, by just kind of cruising on the outside and hanging out and being productive. Like Hardy just he's pretty good for what he is. Like Castro is no better than Sasoli in my opinion.
Yeah, when I rewatched and kind of watched DeCastro more, it's like that Tafa knockout, he was actually getting outlanded, like not by anything significant, but like he hadn't landed anything at that point, and he just kind of winged a hook. And the more I watch him, he kind of just spams leg kicks and throws hooks in the pocket. And Hardy moves well, like in and out. Like he's hard to hit, and even versus Volkov, like when he just decided he didn't want to get finished and he kind of was accepting a loss, he was still like hard to kind of land clean on. So I don't like I just trust Hardy's durability and just like ability to evade. So that and Hardy lands often. So I kind of and he's so much bigger. Like I think that's one thing we have to mention. I
Yeah,
think
huge.
the reach advantage is monstrous. I remember when I was writing this fight up, and he's like 5 inches taller too. And the more I watched DeCastro's like amateur fights, like he's undefeated as a pro, but he lost in the amateurs like semi recently, like 2.5 years ago, and he gets hit a lot. And I think Hardy may even finish him. Like I know the decision lines kind of like the play, but I kind of think he's going to knock DeCastro out. But I just wasn't as impressed with him. But it's still kind of like uncertain of how good DeCastro is, right? Um,
I think
but
it's I don't rate him particularly hard. I just his leg kicks are okay, but like he beat that wrestling dude that somebody managed to convince everybody in the world to go all in on.
yeah,
What's his name? Greco-Roman dude, and
makes yeah.
and Tarfer, and Tarfer is the goat after he beat Juan Adams, but fair enough.
Yeah,
Even that it was a spectacular knockout, but it wouldn't show anything.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just kind of just didn't think DeCastro's like other tape was that good, and it's hard to kind of watch Meeks and Tafa and draw too much from it. But there are some unknowns, so it kind of makes the fight weird. But
Yeah, pretty much.
I lean Hardy here.
Yeah, same. Hardy seems pretty functional. Like I like minus 140 when I got it. It's kind of like Jorgen could meme him, but like even like it wouldn't shock me if Hardy looks like a minus 100, which like Castro just seems like Castro should be KO or bust here. I don't think he's that powerful, and like Hardy just seems disciplined and sensible. Is my read of it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think we see Hardy just kind of cruising the outside and have a decision, or like if Castro decides to make an issue of it, maybe a KO. But I think I took the decision at like plus 400 or something like that because like when it opened up, the over 1.5 was a lot. Over 1.5 was like minus 110 or something, and yeah, everything else is a lot cheaper. But like this rewrite, the price is out now. Pass.
if you watch some of De Castro's fights, man, like in the region, like he gets hit, and some of those guys like weren't near. Like Hardy isn't a heavy hitter, but he's not a light hitter, And I just I don't know. I just feel like Hardy's gonna like land pretty consistently, especially early. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Pettis Cerrone, I kind of labeled this in the Jacare Souza type of fight. What do you think?
I think it's quite that bad because I feel like Cerrone's got a bit more process left in them. I'd rather play Pettis no scorecards or Pettis or fight doesn't go distance than Pettis ML. So I feel like Pettis should like is kind of knock out of the bus. It's a good chance that Cerrone just gets hit in that first round where Cerrone's always vulnerable. But I feel like Cerrone's like durability down the stretch and volume and functional round winning is a lot stronger with Pettis's. Picking up Pettis lost to Diaz in humiliating fashion. But like, yeah, if Pettis could definitely kill him in the first round. But, like, I would I think Cerrone should be a small favourite just because I feel like he needs less to go his way to win this. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I trust Cerrone more to win if it goes to decision. Like you said, I trust Pettis's durability much more in a fight like this because usually when Pettis gets finished, it's like pressure fighting and kind of gassing him out. But Cerrone doesn't like Cerrone can put up a pace, but it's not like he's like walking you down. Like he still stands at distance, and I don't think Pettis will gas as quick. I guess is what I'm trying to say. But so I kind of trust just Pettis to survive because Pettis like his one shot KO just like chin is pretty good. It's not like he's been put down with one shot before. And then obviously Cerrone's had some issues with that, recently, and I could definitely see Pettis clipping him, but I I do agree Cerrone, like he's busier and has kind of like more round winning process, but I still think Pettis can kind of compete on the scorecards, and I don't trust Cerrone's chin, so I kind of agree that it should just be a close line, but I do think if you want to play Pettis, which I'm not saying, dude, I'm not fucking playing Pettis, but I do agree the scorecard's no action at the same price as this money line is better.
Yeah, because like I think Pettis just by durability is a lot more like the finish than Cerrone is because like Pettis is still ridiculously durable. But like if it hits the scorecards, I can't say many situations where you're like confident Pettis has won the decision. Like if Pettis is having that much success, he probably finishes because that's why Cerrone is.
The only thing
Like
is,
Cerrone,
I expect Pettis to compete in that first round, though. Like, regardless, that's a thing. In a 3 round fight, that's striking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like Cerrone has to like. I don't know. I hear you. I hear you. It's just,
I'm just the way
yeah,
I see it, like unless Pettis gets like either like a really big moment, even like round one, even if Pettis is competing, it's like unless he's really hurting Cerrone, he just doesn't do enough. Yeah, I
true.
think
No,
I
no,
could just
yeah.
yeah,
I'm like an
Cerrone
Anthony
can get round
Pettis
one
like
still.
hater. I've always been like I've been like that forever, and now it's kind of starting to play out.
I mean, I think people are going a bit too far because like I remember him against Ferguson. Pettis ITD against Ferguson was like 10-1. It was like plus 900, and I was like, that's crazy. He was like, Pettis is still dangerous. He just has no process.
Oh, no, like, I mean, I respect his finishing ability off his back and just, like, his ability to hurt you, and that's why he's accomplished what he's accomplished, because he sucks as a round winner and always has? Um, like, there's been many fights where he was losing, and he won just because he kinda got a finish, I mean, Wonder Boy, and there's a
Oliveira.
ton yeah, there's a ton of others, like Melendez even. Like, Melendez was kind of, like, giving him issues, but,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I I don't know. I feel like this kind of has high variance written all over it, because I could easily see Cerrone, like, dying, and I usually fade KOs, but he's been, like, knocked out, like, 3 times in, like, a 12-month span. Um, so that can't be, like, great for your chin, and I know that's not, like, super scientific, but I think it's, like, something to point out. But I and then I don't like Pettis' game either. So it's kind of, I just don't, fuck this fight.
Yeah, fair enough. Like again, I'm not going crazy. I'm playing like half a unit, like plus 120 or something, whatever I got, and like yeah, I would lean Cerrone, but like yeah, I have strong conviction on it.
Yeah. Also, one fight that's not on best fight odds that's happening. Let's talk about it for like 12 seconds because I don't, I don't feel like talking about it. Spann and Alvey. I mean, Spann should probably win just by being like more physical, and Alvey looking like
It's been
super.
booked on. Is that booked? Yeah, no, didn't know that. I mean, I knew it was booked originally, but it's been rebooked.
Yeah, I think I think the UFC tweeted that out.
No, I'm not doubting you. Just like I didn't see it this morning.
Oh no, I mean, I might be doubting it. I thought I saw that, but I could be wrong. Let me double check.
Yeah, it's on there. It's on the
Okay.
UFC card. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I don't like Spann, but like Alfie and Joe are very hittable, and like Spann should just kind of win by default by being big and swinging hooks.
Pretty much. Yeah, like that's we don't need to say anything else. Cool. The Kattar Stevens. Like, yeah, you can go.
The way I see it is like leg kicks are a big one. It's like, Kattar doesn't check leg kicks. Stevens, when he feels like leg kicks very viciously. I like the ITD here at plus 110. Stevens KO at plus 590 just feels a bit weird because Stevens KO should usually be harder than that. Yeah, like I don't trust Kattar to play like an outside game. I think this could be a high variance striking match. I think Stevens has the leg kick thing, and yeah, I'd feel like really Kattar's inability to deal with leg kicks, and I don't think he can fix that because so much was built into his game, just how he jabs. Means like I can't see how he can support a 250, and like yeah, even like Stevens no scorecards at plus 175, and Stevens like historically ultra durable. Like Kattar hits hard, but I don't think he's a massive bomber.
Yeah.
I just think leg kicks make it very difficult to support Kattar at minus 250.
Yeah, I do think Kattar. The issue with Stevens is kind of just his he doesn't land like often, that like that's always kind of been his issue. But like he also like it's not like he gets bombed on either, like it's not like you can just sit there and just kind of completely dominate him by out voluming him unless if you're like way more skilled than him. And Kattar is like busier offensively, and he does have the straighter shots. And Stevens is kind of like hook reliant with his hands. So I do think like Kattar has an advantage there with like just like the straight punching and his jab in the boxing and just like overall busyness. But it's still like I don't think it's a blow. Even if I'm not factoring in leg kicks, right? Like even if Stevens doesn't go to that game plan, I still think it's not like a blowout by any means, and it's high variance striking, and Stevens is tough to where a big shot can land for Stevens, or it could just be like a close striking fight, right? And if Stevens does go to the leg kicks, but it's not like the issue with like that, it's kind of almost like the flaw I was seeing in people with Pettis Diaz. You're assuming like someone's going to fight the right way. Like everyone was assuming Pettis would just like go to leg kicks against Diaz, and just kind of like fight like a perfect fight. Well, like Stevens might come out and brawl, like with hands and just kind of get out slicked. So I think you have to factor in the possibility of Stevens not going to leg kicks. But if he does, obviously, I mean, there's still a chance he does, right? But I don't know. I don't know if that made sense, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's just like a variable in there of not. You kind of like can't assume that Stevens is going to go to that game.
It's kind of like, I mean, historically, Stevens, he's kind of weird. I feel like he just kind of throws everything at people, does what kind of works
Yeah.
more often. That's like, like he doesn't usually come into it like with like a look of like, he doesn't really come in with a plan, like in terms of like, I need to leg kick this guy. He just like, I'm going to try leg kicking, I'm going to try hooking, I'm going to try meme mugging, I'm going to try headbutting him, and like he just kind of revolves into whatever seems to be working. My experience of him. So it's like, chances are he won't come out and really start hammering the leg kicks, but I feel like if he uses them and has success, he'll just incorporate more. Just how he is in
he
fights.
might, right? But he might not. Yeah, it's just I totally see a world where he just like hammers leg kicks and scores with them. But this is MMA. He might just like not go to that game plan.
Yeah, true. Like I'm not. That's my thing. Like I'm not saying he's getting Kano like masterclass king, but I think it's gonna be a nut. He's gonna do it in regardless. Like one in every 5 strikes will be a leg kick.
Could
And
be. Yeah.
Kattar is so hilariously open. Like Kattar has absorbed like 85% leg kicks thrown in them. And
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Stevens' leg kicks do seem to hobble people. Like he just seems to be. Stevens just does everything very, very hard. So it's like even if it's like turns into even if it's like a boxing match, I wouldn't give Kattar like Kattar minus 250 in a pure boxing match is kind of like fair, but probably not value. But
Yeah.
it's just like Kattar. Best case scenario minus 250 is probably maybe fair, but like any other situation, Stevens side. It's kind of my lane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not like I wouldn't play Cater at this price, considering it's striking and it's not like a complete blowout. And his only way to win is just like, but it's not like he like gets takedowns or anything, you know.
And they both had a bunch of success against Zabit too. I did feel that Zabit was outstruck by Stevens in 2 rounds and got fortunate with nut shot, but well.
Yeah, it's funny. Cater, his like stats are kind of hilarious because like he lands at a high rate 5.12 significant strikes landed per minute, and then he absorbs 6.36. So obviously he absorbs a lot, but his striking defense is like 57%, which isn't like bad, that's like kind of average. So but then if you look at who he's fought, like he's fought some killers, man. like all high volume strikers like Burgos, Feely, Zabit, who are like 3 of the higher volume strikers at featherweight. And then Moicano is another one. He's like right there too. And Moicano just destroyed his stats by like really fucking him up. And then and then Cater like took care of Fishgold and Lamas, like as far as like the numbers and just kind of like dominating them. So it's not like
Fishgold's had success early on. Like Fishgold came for the first 2 minutes, just winging some throwing leg kicks.
But Fishgold came out like an idiot. like it's like Cater was just like, okay, you're going nuts and you're gonna gas, and then Cater just started jabbing his face off and kind of put him away. It's like it was almost like Derek Brunson against who was that? Was that Brunson Whitaker? Where Brunson just came out like a fucking moron in a 5-round fight and tried to take his head off.
Brunson's done it a few times. Jacare too. The second Jacare. From Fishgold's point of view, he was brought in at like 3 days' notice. He was like a plus 5,000 underdog. I felt you kind of have to steer into chaos in that position.
Yeah, but no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just. I was more so saying that to defend Cater, like the success that was happening on Cater. It's like if someone comes out throwing 5,000 strikes, they're probably going to land like 20.
I mean, if somebody comes out swinging hooks wildly and leg kicking and it lands, that's kind of my thing. Stevens does do that. He doesn't do that much, but like in terms of like philosophical approach, Stevens is kind of aligned to Fishgold in a lot of ways.
Yeah. No, I expect like a fairly competitive fight here.
Yeah, same. Like I think it's a decent shot fight of the night. Just having a quick look up and down the card, apart from Gaethje Ferguson. And
there's a lot of good fights like for fight of the night. I feel like.
I definitely think of showpieces. Yeah, it's like 4 or 5. I'd say.
Price Luque, like Pettis Cerrone will probably be fun at times. Cater Stevens, like there's, I mean Gaethje Ferguson, like obviously.
Yeah. That's like the second best fight the UFC can put on.
Even like Cruz Cejudo will probably be like a scrappy 5-round fight. I don't
Weird
know.
fight. Yeah.
I could just see like a lot of them, but I like Cater and Stevens. Like I like both guys, so I'm excited for this fight.
Yeah, like it's just Stevens is historically actually my highest profit time fighter, just because like I feel like he's usually one of the guys. You know what he's doing. You know he's gonna lose. You know he's gonna. Most of the time, it's rare that Stevens surprises you, and I feel like people also tend to underrate Stevens just because he's been around for so long.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm not saying he's like secretly the GOAT or something. Like, it is difficult dealing with his stuff. It's just like, a guy who's ultra aggressive and will come at you is it's hard to deal with.
I do think Stevens would have benefited a lot more in 5 round fights because he is very hard to finish. And so like dealing with him for 5 rounds is obviously when he has a great gas tank too. Like that's one thing. Because I mean, look at like Yair Rodriguez or Zabit in a 5 rounder, and those guys are both kind of like top 10. I don't know what they're ranked, but I'm assuming they're probably top 10. Those are like he might have won both of those, especially against Yair.
I think he takes both of those in the 5 rounder. Like, those are they're both top 5.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying about Stevens. Like it's just he's very hard to finish, and so in a 5 and he has awesome cardio and he's dangerous and come forward. So in a 5 rounder, it's just going to be annoying, like fighting that guy.
Like, honestly, in a 5 round, just looking at the heavyweight ranking, take him against quite a few other guys in the fight in a 5 rounder. Even Kattar, I'd probably kind of lean him a bit more, just to take more time for nutrition to go to work.
They both have really good cardio. Like Kattar's cardio is pretty impressive too, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it's just like Stevens. Like, the fact he's made his very basic style work is just sort of testament to how freakish an athlete he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like explosive, but in terms of just like he hits fucking not go away, and he's ultra durable.
Yeah, like also one issue that I have, like a lot, like I see like even some people sticking Kattar in parlays, and it's just I feel like Stevens because he's generally, I mean, he's only been KO'd like what 2 times. Like I think Aldo got him, and it was like body shots, whatever. And then what was the other one? Was it Eve Edwards? Like way back in the day, it was like a really random KO.
Wasn't like a crazy it was like crazy spinning back fist or something, wasn't it? I think. No, that's Tom. That was Thompson. That was Thompson. They got crazy spinning back fisted. But yeah, it was like a just random one off. Like
It was Eve Edwards. It was on the Henderson Diaz card.
And even like Aldo versus Stevens, like he was hurt, but his body shot hurt, and he was kind of moving. Like Stevens is just worldly tough. Like, even against Yaya, like Yaya hurt into the body, and Stevens just keeps coming. It's like it's hard to look minus 250 against Stevens.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you look since like I don't know since the Moicano fight, right? I'm just like grabbing the most like recent kind of relevant high level guy he's fought, right? He didn't look minus 250 against Stevens, and like I don't see how you could put Kattar significantly above Moicano when fighting Stevens, and like Moicano also fucked Kattar up, but I know like you can't just MMA math it. But I'm like, even in his losses against like Aldo, he didn't look Aldo did not look minus 250 in that fight.
Even Zabit, like standing, Zabit didn't look minus 250. Didn't look like minus 300. Like, Zabit when he decided to wrestle kind of did, but that's not really a thing here.
Zabit just did his thing where he's like, where he kind of like has stretches of dominance, and then he kind of just like gasses and it becomes close. And then, but like still, like I agree, like even minus 250 there might have been like a little scary,
Like round one against
and Kattar's not Zabit.
Stevens Zabit round one was still fairly close.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Because I remember Stevens was taking over, and then Zabit punched the dick and got like 2 minutes of breathing room.
You were so mad at that. I remember you were so mad.
It's such a ridiculous fucking foul. Like Zabit got massive dividends off that.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because it's like when something like that happens, I don't think Zabit did it on purpose, but he also got like a massive benefit.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying he cheated, but just like he got a massive benefit off because like he was looking frazzled. He just gets 2 minutes.
It's just one of those things. It's just gonna happen in this sport because it's not like you don't want to like penalize Zabit like severely and take a full point away either because it was clearly like an accident, But at the same time, you're like, fuck, like Steve, like Stevens got completely fucked. So like one guy's gonna get fucked and the other one's not. It's just like kind of bad luck. But
also it's kind of like Zabit when Zabit actually wrestled in that fight looked minus 300. Standing, he did not look that dominant.
He looked good standing in, like, certain spots. It's just, like, eventually the pressure was getting him uncomfortable, you know? I mean, and that's the thing about Stevens. It's like he's gonna fucking come forward and, like, make you uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
But I think we've talked about this fight, like, way too long. This is gonna be interesting. Rozenstruik, I don't think I've talked to you about this, Roz and Ngannou. What do you think here?
Actually, I'm actually finally betting Rosa. Like, I feel like this is gonna depend on two. There's gonna be two situations. Ngannou goes crazy in the first 30 seconds and kind of wins on power and durability because Ngannou was great athlete / power durability. Or we end up with like a rerun of Lewis versus Ngannou, where Rozenstruik wins off just being like actually a functional kickboxer. Because like my read is like Rozenstruik is like a B grade technical kickboxer. He's not as good as Overeem, like just pure technique, but he's functional. And Ngannou's like a D plus, where it's just like Ngannou makes so many errors, he just makes up for it by being a freak athlete. So like you could see a gun shy Ngannou just giving up massive amounts of minutes because Rozenstruik's better from the outside, or we could see Ngannou just going crazy like he just on.
Yeah,
pretty much it.
Yeah, like I agree with you. Like the more I was taping, I was kind of like, and the more I was kind of researching, it's like 90% of Ngannou's wins are just kind of like bum rushing people and knocking them out under 2 minutes. Like literally, I mean, he has multiple wins like that, right? Yeah, I'm counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins are under 2 minutes, which is insane. And like I was thinking, I was like, I don't think just because of because Roz is dangerous himself, you know, like if you just like kind of bum rush him, like one, Ngannou can get clipped, and the thing about Roz is even though like Overeem had success on him, he's like composed, you know, like he doesn't just like panic and get like I just don't feel like Ngannou can easily knock him out in 2 minutes. Like he's got massive power. I just don't think he can do it on as high of a clip and without as much risk coming back his way than like some of these other guys. You know, like against like Arlovsky and Overeem, it's like they're kind of prone to getting hit like that, or JDS, where I don't feel that way about Roz. And then the thing is, like, if Roz then survives, Ngannou's like when he landed 11 strikes over 3 rounds against Derek Lewis, and then even against like Stipe, I know a lot of it was because of grappling. It's not like Ngannou looked like a great round winning striker, you know, against him either. I do think Ngannou actually looked pretty decent against Blades, like way back in the day, like in 2016, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Ngannou's fucked if this goes 3 rounds, but I wouldn't want him at minus 270 if this goes past 2 minutes, you know? So
yeah, like
that's kind of
actually
my
more I think about it, it's like even if Ngannou goes crazy for the first 2 minutes, is he minus 300 if he in just craziness? I don't think so.
No,
And
I
if
don't
he
either.
goes
That's what I'm saying.
longer than 2 minutes, I think Rozenstruik should win. Ngannou is like I've been playing people against Rozenstruik because he's a kickboxer who can't really grapple and all that, but Ngannou's not going to take advantage of that. And
No, Ngannou's never landed a takedown in his career.
Didn't he? He randomly ripped off Hamilton's eye, like a random standing clinch, Kimura.
He Kimured him. It wasn't like he like landed a takedown and then like used process to get to that position. Like it was just kind of like he just like he like powered. He ripped his arm off literally. Yeah,
I know it was a good moment, but like just Rozenstruik has more process than Ngannou. Like I faded Rozenstruik on the way up, but that's because like I've been fading against people I trust to go for takedowns and stuff like that. Like Reem would have been, Reem if he didn't get memed would have been fine there, but like it's like Rozenstruik. I feel like if it goes the distance, like Rozenstruik decisions plus 975 right now, which is nuts.
Oh wow! Yeah, I didn't realize that. I kind of just expect I think if this goes the distance, I just think it's going to probably be pretty close, you know. And then
Like,
And the thing is, like, dude, like Rose, this is fucking heavyweight, and Rozenstruik can win a KO. So like he has that path too. So like, why would you bet? You can't bet a minus 270 here in Ngannou. You just can't do it.
like Ngannou no scorecards is the exact same price as Ngannou money line. I'd rather have no scorecards.
Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Because if it goes to the cards, I would not like. I don't favor Ngannou. I don't even know if I favor Ngannou if it goes to the scorecards. You know.
If it goes to scorecards, I'd say Rozenstruik just kind of beats him by being functional. Like he's got deeper striking toolkit. He can do stuff from the outside.
Yeah.
Like Rozenstruik, I understand. Yeah, Rozenstruik loss here is like a massive dies in like 30 seconds sort of thing. Like we can all picture how he loses the fight, but yeah, minus 300 to Ghani. Just the more I think about it, like I've thought about the decision before, but now just thinking about it in depth, it's just like Rozenstruik plus 230 just does not make sense in this spot. But obviously, because Rozenstruik has taken all my money, he'll die in 20 seconds. Ideally, he'll probably like rock Ngannou, and Ngannou will just spinning back fist him or something whilst half dead.
And just like I think it's important to look at just durability here in a fight like this, and I think Rozenstruik's only been KO'd like one time or so in kickboxing. Like it's not like he's been like KO'd like 6 times.
I dug a bit whilst doing Kate for over him. There was one where he got knocked like completely the fuck out. There's like 2 or 3 where it was like TKOs because kickboxing 3 knockdowns.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
like he's definitely durable.
I had watched some of his 2016 kickboxing fights. Like I didn't go too far back just because like I think at that point it's kind of pointless. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know. It's just it's kind of a goofy fight. It's also like at the same time I'm saying that like it's not like a play I'm gonna track either, because I still think it's kind of a stupid fucking fight, and it's like it's almost hard to know what's gonna happen because what if Ngannou just doesn't even do that bum rush early, like
Lewis hits a picture perfect double leg at Americanism.
Lewis's power like obviously made him hesitant, and I could see that happening here, that same dynamic. So it's almost like hard to know exactly what's going to happen. Like I could see this being a staring contest that goes the distance, But
I think the staring contest favors Rozenstruik quite a bit, just because Rozenstruik actually has outside striking tools, and Ngannou doesn't really.
I mean, if Ngannou's just, and the thing is, even if Ngannou goes nuts and just tries to take off Rozenstruik's head off, I don't think that's like. There's still like a lot of risk in Ngannou's way. Like he might just like not land and gas himself out or get clipped himself. But I mean, I definitely think Ngannou hits harder, but it's not like Rozenstruik's a light hitter either. But yeah, it's kind of a wacky fight. It's going to be hilarious. But next fight, Cruz and Cejudo. What are your thoughts here?
Pete Cruz, I think, should be like minus 250 just because Cejudo's kind of low volume, doesn't really win the minutes that well. And Cruz is kind of like nerdly and optimized well to win against like Cejudo is kind of a throwback in a lot of ways. He's like just a more athletic version of like Uriah Faber in terms of like volume and intentionality. Like if it was like Cruz against like Jan or Sterling or something, I'd play them because like I think that leg kicks will completely destroy Cruz as well, and that would have been used frequently. But Cejudo doesn't leg kick and doesn't really do that much, so it's like, yeah, I feel like Cruz should be the minute winner here. But I could also see Cejudo just kind of existing at Cruz for 10 minutes and Cruz just dying because, Mirage style. But like, it's not like Cejudo does any real significant nutrition work.
Yeah, the thing with this fight is like, so this is like my way of dismissing Cejudo. Like there's no way you can play Cejudo minus 240 here. I don't think either guy can hold the other one down at all. Like honestly, like is there like a prop of like who lands more takedowns? Because I think like the bookies would just favor Cejudo definitely, but I do think it's possible. Like neither guy's gonna like out wrestle the other, for like stretches. I don't think either guy can hold the other one down, but I do think it's possible Cruz can land some like a couple takedowns here and there. Like he's got really good takedowns. But anyway, that's just kind of like a sidetrack. I think they're going. This is going to be like 80% on the feet at least, you know. And the thing about Cejudo is like, so if I don't think he can out wrestle him, so he's either got to knock Cruz out, and it's like Cejudo only has what 2 KOs in his career, and one was against an undurable Wilson Heist, and the other one was like a real quick one against Dillashaw. So I think it's not like he's ever really shown massive power in any other fight, right?
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
so it's like
standing clean KOs.
So it's like he's not really going to out wrestle Cruz dominantly over 5 rounds, and I don't think the KO is like super likely. Like it could happen if Cruz is like, I mean, Cruz can be dropped. He's been dropped a lot, but I don't think Cruz has ever been knocked out. And yeah, like I don't know. I'm kind of just like saying that's probably low percentage. I could see a world where it happens, but you're kind of stuck with the main win path of Cejudo winning in a distance kickboxing fight, and Cruz has never been outlanded at distance except against Mighty Mouse, like barely. And Cruz obviously won that fight because he out wrestled Mighty Mouse. And Cejudo has been outlanded at distance by, let's go to it. So Mighty Mouse did it, Pettis did it, Benavides did it, Moraes did it, and he only outlanded Formiga, who never lands any distance strikes, by 1 strike. He only outlanded Cariaso by 1 strike at distance. So it's like, and Cruz has 74% striking defense. So like, if Cruz just kind of shows up as like an average version of himself, you're almost relying on Cejudo outdistancing him at a minus 240 line. So that's kind of like my way of being like, what the fuck, of betting Cejudo at this line. So I think it's either obvious. So that's kind of implying that I think Cruz is value, but obviously the layoff, the injuries is obviously a question mark, you know. But I will say I usually think like someone shows up looking like shit more so from accumulated head trauma and like getting knocked out and being in like massive wars kind of in a row. And that's not really Cruz. Like it's more just kind of like, you know, lower like injuries, right? Just kind of like extremity injuries. Like I think it's like knees, like Achilles. I forget all of his injuries. So even though I think that can age him, I do think it's less worrying than getting like knocked the fuck out and being in wars, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Again, Cruz will be stalling on him for 10 minutes. One of his knees will explode, and Cejudo will just Cejudo him to death. Like, yeah, I 100% agree. Like, I'll probably play Cruz small, but just like, the question is just condition. Like, yeah, it's possible Cejudo looks like a post-fact minus, plus 1,000 just because he's in terrible shape. But like, yeah, if this is like even an average Cruz, he should be like, I think even like average Cruz historically is still favourite. Like the Cruz that fought Dillashaw should probably be favourite of the Cejudo just because Cejudo's not much of a minute winner.
The Cruz that beat Dillashaw should absolutely be favored over Cejudo, in my opinion.
Yeah, because like Cejudo's just not a very functional minute winner. He doesn't really do what Cruz is going to struggle against somebody who works the body and plays like kicks very well, but like Cejudo just ignored it. Cejudo's almost a pure headhunter.
And Cruz's striking defense to the head is really good.
Yeah, and like Cejudo doesn't do much with top position if he ever gets it. So.
Yeah, he lays in guard. That's all he does. He doesn't know how to like wrestle. Well, I mean, he's a freestyle guy. He didn't wrestle in college, so he doesn't have that D1 holding people down background. And the like Cruz will scramble up. I'm very confident he can't hold Cruz down for more than like 2.5 minutes at a time. You know, I think he's going to get right back up. And I do think Cruz can land some takedowns here. Like I think it's very possible, and it would be like kind of fun to see Cruz take down an Olympian, you know. But I generally think that stuff's going to cancel out. The thing I will say though, like I don't think Cejudo can't win like a 5-round kickboxing fight. I'm not saying that. I just don't think he can win it I just don't like his line there. But still, like, God, if Cruz shows up just in like decent form, like he's super live here. But I will say, like, Cruz does get like knocked down a lot, even though he like recovers. Like, even do you remember against Faber in 2012? He got knocked down like 4 times throughout that fight, even though like every other moment of the fight, Cruz won. so, so I could see Cejudo like hurting Cruz at some point too.
I don't necessarily think Cejudo even hits as hard as Faber historically. Like, I think Faber's kind of more
Agreed.
proven power. But, Cejudo's just kind of like, the first minute to the this is a thing. I believe in it quite strongly, and like Dillashaw first minute, whatever. And race was, depleted. Yeah, just like, I've just got this feeling that like Cejudo just looks like shit. But yeah, like, if Cejudo doesn't look like shit, he's definitely the play here. Even live bet, like, there's a good chance after the first round, we'll just be like, Cruz will show enough to show he's still there, he's still got it, and he'll still be like evens or something because there's just too much bias towards the opener.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's a wacky fight. Like I think you got to go Cruz small or just pass. Like I think those are the only two logical approaches. Like playing Cejudo here is just kind of dumb. But Ferguson and Gaethje, I mean, we've talked about this before. In our previous podcast, we can just kind of summarize what we thought. Like, I just think Gaethje has to get a first 2-round knockout, and then if he doesn't, he'll probably be in trouble.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and I think Gaethje's first round knockout abilities are being overrated a bit because like Barboza and Cerrone are both historically pretty easy the first round knockout.
Yeah,
like they don't like pressure. They're kind of fragile. Even Vic's the same way. Like I felt Vic was actually doing okay against Gaethje. Like I played Vic at the time, but like just I remember thinking like Vic was kind of having a lot of success with the outside stuff, the push kicks, and like Ferguson does use the push kicks well.
Yeah,
and like, this could be a similar dynamic to Vic, where it's just like Ferguson's kind of outstriking him, and the Gaethje just lands a massive bomb. But like I think Gaethje's kind of bomb or bust here.
Yeah, and so like because I kind of think he's bomb or bust, and like we'll just kind of talk about this since we've talked about this fight before, but Gaethje's current, like I pretty much think he's KO or bust because if you look at just like the overall numbers when the fights played out against Alvarez and Poirier, he got absolutely like destroyed on the numbers and was down on the scorecards to both of them. Even though like he still landed some leg kicks and stuff, but he doesn't land head strikes and Ferguson does, and I favor head strikes generally over leg kicks. But I was looking at Gaethje's KO line, and it's plus 175. So that's implying that he gets a knockout, like 36% of the time. And I just think that's wrong. Like if they fight 100 times, do you really think he knocks Ferguson dead 36 times? Like even if you just threw it to 20, right? You would like Ferguson would by definition be value,
Yeah, pretty much. It's just Gaethje has kind of limited path to victory. I think there's a reason it's just kind of the reason the runs overhyped him a bit.
Yeah.
And like also condition, like Gaethje is a nutritional fighter, but he's not really a clean nutritional fighter. Yeah, he just kind of drags you into the deep water and drowns himself and drowns both of you in hopes that he's one who doesn't drown. While Ferguson actually like out cardios people. Like I think Ferguson would just take over enormously after leg kicks are an issue, but again, even then, it's just like Gaethje will just get a lot harder, a lot quicker than Ferguson.
Yeah, because I know you love me throwing numbers out there, but just I'll do it again. Yeah, Gaethje was outlanded 162 to 124 by Eddie Alvarez, and he lost the head strike battle 113 to 69 to him. And he was outlanded by Poirier 179 to 116 and lost the head strike battle 142 to 56. And it's not even and Ferguson has better cardio than both of those guys. And if you look at Ferguson, he outlanded Barboza 69 to 45 and won the head strike battle 42-20. Against Venata, it was 69-42, head strike battle 42-26. And then this one, a lot of those fights had ended and didn't go all 5 rounds, but against RDA, and this was like prime RDA who competed at distance with Colby Covington. Ferguson outlanded RDA 200 to 126 and won the head start battle 130 to 84. So it's just like if this plays out, Gaethje's kind of fucked. So I'm just kind of reinforcing our point that I think Gaethje has to win within the first 10 minutes, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, pretty much it. Ferguson will just bury him. It should be a fun fight, though. I still wish we got Ferguson Holloway somehow. That's like my ideal fight.
It's going to be really fun. And I expect Gaethje to be competitive early,
Yeah, and also even Gaethje, even against Alvarez and Poirier, they were both severely hampered by the leg kicks. I felt like particularly Poirier, I kind of felt like yeah, he was beating Gaethje the first 2 rounds, but even the round 4, I felt like if he didn't get knocked out at that point, he would have kind of lost that. He would have most likely lost that fight. Just my feel of it at the time.
Just because he was down on the cards, but Gaethje would have had to won the next 2 rounds, which is possible, but he may have not, right?
I feel like Gaethje would have gotten KO if he didn't KO'd. Because I felt Poirier's legs would just go. Yeah, Poirier's legs were just gone, and Poirier just kind of just fished himself out the back door. I guess that's why I felt.
I had a bit of a feeling of that too. I see what you mean. I still think though that Poirier could have still won because the fight was high variance and stupid enough, obviously, for something to happen.
Yeah, true. Again, it was always gonna be messy. It's Gaethje, he fights messy.
For sure.
I do appreciate how he tries to maximize it.
Oh yeah, he's the most exciting fighter probably in the sport, especially for casual fans, And the thing though is Ferguson. I feel like Ferguson's durability is a little underrated. It's almost like the Joanna Jędrzejczyk effect, where they you think of the 2 or 3 moments you've seen of Joanna hurt and don't realize she's had the most standing cage time in women's MMA history, and the other 99% of the time she's been totally fine, right? And that's kind of Ferguson's been hurt 2 times, and he's never been knocked out in his career, and even against Pettis, he kind of recovered pretty quickly. The Venata one was a lot scarier, though. But it's I get the path of KO is there, but I do think Ferguson's overall durability is kind of underrated.
Yeah, I agree. It's just because he spent so much time standing against 10 guys.
Yeah,
you're gonna get clipped occasionally. Gaethje gets hurt a lot. Ferguson does.
That's what I'm saying. Gaethje definitely hits harder, but it's Ferguson, Gaethje gets hit very clean, and he gets hurt all the time. Dude, he was getting hurt in PFL. I just rewatched his fight, PFL World Series of Fighting. But the thing about Ferguson, I do think though, the leg kick thing you mentioned, I do agree. I do think Gaethje can land some damage there, but Ferguson does pressure a lot, and I expect, especially after the first 5, I expect both guys to pressure each other early, And then I think there will be a point when Ferguson's kind of pressuring him a lot. And I do think it's a little harder to land leg kicks impactfully when you're going backwards, So I do think that can at least minimize the leg kick damage a little bit, but who the fuck knows?
Also, Ferguson's a better kicker than either Poirier or Alvarez himself, and I think there's going to be a lot of that push body kick is going to be there all day.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I was looking, and he lands a ton of body kicks, and he just lands the body all the time. And Gaethje got fucked up to the body in both fights, especially against Eddie Alvarez, and he absorbs body strikes at a high clip. So yeah, that's another thing. I just think I think Ferguson's gonna probably put him away, in round 3 or round, something around that. But
should be an accumulation sub or your club sub or KO. Because I even you watch a Vic fight, I thought Vic was having a lot of his success with the kicking. He didn't get knocked out with that first 2 minutes we got. Vic was kind of push kicking well, and Cerrone, Ferguson against Cerrone used those push kicks a lot, and was that just seems like a very proven way of fucking up Gaethje. Gaethje just does nothing to protect himself on them.
Yeah.
Apart from hope they can get knockout. It's Gaethje's come knockout, KO or bust.
Yeah, we're kind of saying the same thing, over and over, I tend to always do. But I think that's it. As far as plays, I have already made a play on Esparza. I'm contemplating Ferguson, and like I'll probably have a play on him. I think I put some on like minus 165 or something. I don't want to go big on Ferguson though, just because it's still a high variance mess, right?
Yeah.
But I went like a little heavier on Esparza, and I think, and like nothing really other than that so far. I'm contemplating the Hardy to Castro one. I'm like contemplating it, but I don't. There are some uncertainties, you know. And then underdog feelers that I like. I won't go big either way, but at least that interests me are Cruz and Rozenstruik. But I wouldn't go like huge on some of these. What about you?
Yeah, I've got Esparza's only money line I'm playing at the moment. Probably go out to Rozenstruik. I had a bunch of Rozenstruik decision. A few overs, GTD and Mitchell, and over and Hardy Castro. A lot of this is like lines we got like when they first got announced back in the day, so it's interesting to see how much that action stands.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's kind of like money line cut. But like Rozenstruik, the more I thought about it just back then, I'm just like, yeah, I feel like even Ngannou's like best case scenario probably doesn't justify that price. I don't think Rozenstruik's a huge hitter, but like, yeah, I think he's a stiff hitter, but I don't think he's like a little hitter. But yeah, it's just this is all fighting the guy he should lose because like some of these are actually kickboxing, and like, but yeah, he could easily just take his head off because like Ngannou's a freak athlete, but Ngannou's just not good at a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think we were going to talk about SUG, but my dog's like bothering me. I have to take him out again.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm gonna take him. We'll do another one of these to. We'll kind of do it maybe the Monday. Maybe we'll do it like the Monday before this card. We'll do a podcast for the Wednesday card. We don't know what that's going to be yet, but we'll kind of do that one, and we'll also kind of have it in place just in case. I have a feeling some fights on this card are probably going to get changed too. You know, just with like the coronavirus like volatility.
Yeah, I'm going to pre-record my 40-minute speech on OSB versus Rothwell.
Jesus. Well, you can create a separate YouTube channel and put it on there because I don't want to hear about that.
Yeah, but wait, I'm going to double. I'm going to sub downpour.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah, Hitler meme. Yeah, the one that's like a meme where it's like subtitles. Downfall. It's like once you're in the bunker and all that, like they tell them bad news. And it's a format it's been used for quite a while.
You're cutting out a bit, so I have like no idea what the fuck you just said. So I think that's like a perfect time to kind of end the podcast.
Yeah, that's all good.
So sorry about that. I just can't hear you.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, everyone.
Yep, see you in a week or two. Good luck. Bye.